So let's flip him on the plate and get ready for the next one. Hey guys, what's cooking? Well, I'm out in the forest on the lakeside enjoying a nice little hangout in my new hammock chair. A friend of mine made it for me. It's awesome, really awesome. Only downside is you eventually have to get out of your hammock chair, but I think I'll manage. But my little hang around got me thinking. Some of you guys asked me, what are the more easier recipes I can start out with? Things I can just whip up at home, throw some stuff into a bag, take out in the woods and enjoy a nice little easy simple breakfast. And that got me thinking, because simple and easy doesn't mean it isn't good. So maybe it's a nice idea to start out a little series covering a few of the more easier recipes, things you can just whip up, take out in the woods and enjoy. So I think I'll start out with one of my favorite easy recipes, which is oatmeal pancakes. So stick around and I'll set things up, and I'll try to get out of my hammock chair and I'll whip up some nice pancakes. Well, first I'll show you what I'm going to use to make my oatmeal pancakes. You need obviously some pancake mix. I make my own because I far prefer than over the prepackaged kind, but you can do whatever you want. I'll include a little recipe for my personal pancake mix recipe in the description. But like I said, you can take it as easy as you want. You just use prepackaged dry mix or whatever. Just use your favorite one, it doesn't really matter. You also need some instant oatmeal mix. I prefer the Quaker kind. This is with added cinnamon, but it's up to you. There are all kinds. Just any prepackaged instant oatmeal mix will do. For my recipe you need some eggs. I suppose you can leave them out, but I really enjoy using some eggs in my pancake mix. And this is my little butter box. It's actually well, I don't know what it is. It's a little container for disgusting stuff we eat on our bread in the Netherlands, but it makes a fine little butter box. Actually my inspiration was the German World War II butter box that the German soldiers used. But this is kind of an ultralight variant of it. It's very nice, and I really, if I can, I use butter outdoors, and I've kind of moved away from oil because it's more difficult to clean, and it attracts lots of animals at night. So this is, I far prefer this. I'm going to use a little cast iron skillet. It's one of my smallest, and actually it's the only the cast iron I actually take out. I think all the other cast iron, including my little Dutch oven, is way too heavy to take out on trips, but this is I guess this is okay. For pancakes to really work, you need well, obviously a skillet or a small pan. The thicker the bottom is, the better, because the heat will spread more even, and you'll wind up with nicer pancakes. I took along my solo stove, but actually I'm only going to use it as kind of a plateau for my little stove, and that is really something special. It's the Gnome stove by Mini Bull Design. It's a wick stove, so there's actually like a little candle. There's a wick inside rolled up, and you put the alcohol on the wick until it's soaked through and through, and then you light it. It's an excellent little ultralight stove, very handy, but you don't need anything fancy, just any stove or any, if you want to have a wood fire or make pancakes over, that's fine. I'm going to use this because it's relatively new in my collection and I like to use it. Like I said, you just put in some alcohol and it's ready to go. So that's everything I'm going to use to make my pancakes. So I'm going to whip up the batter now, and then it's off to bake. So let's put some water in our recipe. In this recipe, which I'll include in the description, there's actually powdered milk included. So all you really need to do is add some water and you're ready to go. Let's just open her up. And what you'll need is about a cup's worth. But really, as far as pancake batter goes, I just add enough until I get the consistency that I want. And I really like to mix it up as I go along, so I get a really good sense of where I'm at as far as batter thickness goes. And the handy thing is, you just mix it up in a bag, just massage it really good until you feel all those lumps disappearing. It'll start out powdery at first, but then it'll go nice and smooth, and you'll know when to add water. So this is kind of like a bread-like dough now, so it's time to add more water, and this is the step where I add the instant oatmeal. So there's a little bit of moisture in the batter before I add more. Just add the oatmeal and add a little bit more water. And of course you can add all sorts of ingredients. I was hoping to find some brambles, but they were all picked or eaten. Alright, next up is adding the eggs to the batter. These are small eggs. You only really need one large egg, but I brought two smaller eggs. Just pop them out into the bag like this. And again, mix it up by hand. And just make sure you mix the yolk and the rest of the egg thoroughly with the batter. Well, I've mixed the batter until I got the consistency that I like. One thing you've heard me say is when you add water, you can add water, but it's really hard to take it out of a recipe. Well, this is quite forgiving. It's one of the reasons I thought it would be a nice start of a series of basic recipes, because the oatmeal will thicken up the batter. So even if you add a little bit more water than you would actually would have wanted in your recipe by mistake, it isn't really a problem, because if you just let it sit for a while, and the oatmeal will thicken up the batter. And what the oatmeal will do in the pancake mix is create a nice, really a nice texture, kind of, yeah, I guess it would make it more like whole wheat bread pancakes, but only in the texture, not in the taste. Well, using the Gnome stoves really easy. I guess they made it out of, or Mini Bull Design made it out of, I think, a small deodorant container. You just remove the cap, and then you add alcohol to the wick. And when the wick is saturated, you're good to go. Add little squirts of alcohol until you see saturation, like this. There we go. And what I like to do in my solo stove, because I always take my solo stove no matter what, is I put the lid, the top lid of the Gnome stove inside as a kind of like a support. Then I find I get the right height, like this. You can see it. And when I add the support, I get the nice height for my pan. The stove is lit, so it's time to add a little butter to our cast iron skillet, and then we're off to make pancakes. I've prepared them in pre-cut little pieces. You can just pop them out, add to the pan, and we're ready. There we go. Time to watch the butter melt and then add the pancake batter to the pan. And one thing you've seen me do before is improvise a little spout. You just make sure your bag is closed really tight, and then you cut off one corner, and then you have something to pour your pancake batter into the pan with. Well, the butter spread nice and evenly. It's time to add the pancake mix. Just add a little at a time, not too much. At least for me, I prefer my pancakes to be nice and small. It's time to flip the pancake. There you go. Well, this one's done, so let's flip him on the plate and get ready for the next one. There we go. Oh. Well, look at that, some nice thick fluffy oatmeal pancakes. And what would go perfect with this in my hammock chair is some nice espresso coffee. So stick around, I'm going to brew some nice espresso, and then I'm going to take these pancakes back to my hammock chair and have a nice breakfast. Alright guys, let me show you my my Aeropress. It's a nice simple way to make coffee out in the woods. Basically you put the coffee in here, there's a filter. Normally it's a paper filter, but I've replaced it with a metal filter. You put the coffee in here, then you pump the coffee, and the pressure makes the coffee. And what I like to do is do a reverse method. I put the pump in, put the coffee in here, screw the filter back on, and let it sit for a while like this. I find it brews nice the coffee better that way. The water has come to a boil. I'll just let it sit for a while because it needs to cool down a little bit for a nice cup of coffee. You place the Aeropress upside down, at least according to what if you want to follow my way of making Aeropress coffee. You remove the filter and you put in about 2 large rounded tablespoons worth of coffee. And this is just normal grounded coffee. You flip it around a little bit to let it settle. There we go. Got my spoon. And what you do now is you just add boiling of hot water till the rim. And then you stir about 10 seconds. You place the filter on top, close it off, and then you wait for about 30 seconds. So once the time has passed, you take your cup and you flip over the Aeropress and you gently press down. And you press the coffee down into the cup. You want to make sure this process takes about 30 seconds. And there's your nice cup of espresso coffee right there. One of the easiest ways I know how to make an excellent cup of coffee out in the woods. Thought I'd show you guys as a fun way to make coffee. There's all sorts of ways to make coffee. Cowboy coffee, percolator coffee. You can just take instant bags of coffee. Everything's fine by me as long as I get my dose of coffee. I'm good. But this is definitely one of the nicer ways I know and the easiest ways I know to enjoy my coffee. So there we go. Some nice coffee, some oatmeal pancakes. It's time to take these out to the hammock chair and enjoy my morning breakfast. Well guys, some awesome coffee, some nice oatmeal pancakes to enjoy for breakfast. Great view, can't think of a better morning. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope you guys like the idea for a small series maybe of easy to prepare, easy to make dinner, lunch or breakfast ideas you can take out in the woods and just enjoy. See you guys soon and happy baking.